Okay folks, we're going into the detail here of the fit out, just so you can see just how much work it takes to do a police bike. This bike is ex-New South Wales Wollongong attached to Corrimal. The setup that they used in this particular case was a single radio, which is the Motorola Syntrax, that's widely understood. They have a special custom outrigger here for indicators, and that was provided by the factory. So when these bikes were shipped out by Yamaha Motors Japan, they came with the outriggers already installed, the indicators already fitted, the blue light pole system and the red and blue up the front were already fitted, as were the isolator switches right there. What was fit locally was obviously the addition of the radio, the Motorola Syntrax, some hideaway lights. So these are blue lights that flash where the civilian indicators, the orange bulbs, would sit. So there's one there and one on that side with a wiring harness that supports that. And then obviously you've got the blue light connector that runs through the back of the bike down this harness and shares a connection back here. So you can see it runs down the frame and then up into the blue light there, and obviously that powers all of that stuff. Now there are some fixings here, so we've reinstated the cable ties that will support the bundle of wire that is wrapped in electrical tape. So one that side, that's these little cable ties right here. We'll obviously follow the witness marks on the existing wiring, so that's come off a police bike, so we're going to use that same width cable and the same mounting point to mount everything so it all looks the same. This through bracket is held in place with 8mm hex head, so that's 8mm on top, and obviously the thread's much thinner, you can see that down there. And this cross brace runs through the back of the number plate, obviously to give this structure, which has some weight attached to it, some support. So we have a brace here through the rear mudguard, we have a bracing point here, a bracing point here, and then across the top we have a plate, which you'll see fitted once the bodywork's in place. So essentially it looks like this. It's a piece of thick metal that will focus, and that's going to fit right the way across the top there. It has a step in it, so you can see we've got mounting points there, and then obviously that bolts through, these two holes bolt through there. On top of that, and actually it fits that way. No, it doesn't. It fits that way. The witness mark right there, by the way, is an earthing strap. So that's used to provide a common ground for the antenna. That guy right down there. And the antenna mounts to a bracket which bolts through this. So essentially that would be sitting on top of the bodywork. Those two bolt holes would line up. And then we have an original base right there. You can see the rub mark from the braid that will support the earthing. That's going to go that way. That's going to then sit on there and be held in place. And in this case, it would have only had a single antenna for the UHF set. And typically they run a UHF antenna on this side and a VHF antenna on that side, although there is some inconsistency there, of course. That's essentially the back of the bike. So imagine an antenna here. You have a blue hideaway there, a blue hideaway there, normal indicator functions here and here, plus you have a blue light here. Now this design did change, so this is an early bike, this is February of 08. This one, as I say, was used as a regional bike down in Wollongong. It never did escort duty or VIP duty. Later on there were modifications where extra blue lights were fitted around the number plate, so sort of back here. That wouldn't be correct for this bike, so we're restoring this exactly the way it would have been with exactly the correct equipment it would have had when it served with that Wollongong Highway Patrol based out of Corrimal. So that's the back of the bike. I'll provide a bit more detailed update around the wiring, how the harnesses connect, where they go up under there, and then also what happens underneath the ECU and once we get up to the front of the bike. I'll try and divide the videos up into 3 segments. So essentially the back of the bike here from about there backwards. We have the center section of the bike with all that spaghetti. Yes, that has to fit in here. and then the section as it routes up under the tank, over the engine under the tank, up through the headstock and around the front here. So we've now just very, very gently laid in this wiring. So I'll try and divide this up into 3 sections just so we've got some detail around the bike build. But there you go, that's the back half almost in. And apologies for the very, very loud rain on the roof sound, but it's been coming down like crazy here for the last week, and it's not expected to ease up for another couple of days. It's torrential. Anyway, I'll catch you in the next video. Stay dry, everyone.